What's the difference between traditional publishing and self-publishing? And what are the pros and cons of each approach? Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back. I am David McElroy, business owner, writer, and creator of WIPpitch. What the heck is WIPpitch? I'm glad you asked. I made a video answering that very question and you can see it right there. I'll also put a link in the show notes below. And while you're down there, why not grab my query letter? If you're a querying writer, you might find it useful, even just as a comparison to your own. It's totally free, just hit the link and it's all yours. So let's get to it. Self-publishing is the act of publishing your own book or another written work without the aid of a traditional publishing company. It's become increasingly popular in recent years, thanks in large part to advancements in technology and the ease with which anyone can self-publish. Traditional publishing, on the other hand, refers to the process of publishing a book through a traditional publishing company. This involves submitting your manuscript to an agent or directly to a publisher, who will then take care of the editing, design, printing, and distribution of your work. While there are definitely advantages to both approaches, there are also disadvantages to each. Let's start with self-publishing, and first, the pros. Number 1, control. One of the biggest advantages of self-publishing your book is the level of control you have over it. You get to make all the decisions about the content, the cover design, and the marketing strategy. You don't have to worry about a publisher making changes to your work in any way that you're not happy about. Number 2, speed. With traditional publishing, the process can take a long time. You have to find an agent, who then has to find a publisher, who then has to go through the editing and printing and marketing process. With self-publishing, you can have your book available for sale within weeks, or even within days. Number 3, profit. Self-publishing can be very profitable. Traditional publishers typically take a large percentage of the profits, but with self-publishing, you get to keep all those profits for yourself. Number 4, flexibility. With self-publishing, you can publish whatever you want, whenever you want. You're not limited by the interests of a traditional publisher or a specific genre. This gives you the freedom to try new ideas and explore new things. And now for the cons. Con number 1, quality control. With self-publishing, there is unfortunately no one to hold you accountable to the quality of your work. You may not have access to professional proofreaders, editors, or designers, which can unfortunately result in a lower quality product being produced. That's not to say that your book isn't good, it just may not have had professional eyes cast over it before being published. Second, marketing. Marketing can be a major challenge when you're self-published. Mostly because you have to do it all yourself and it's very time consuming and it can be quite expensive. You may not have access to the same marketing channels that traditional publishers have. Third is credibility. Some people still view self-publishing as a second-rate option to traditional publishing. It's not, but that prejudice, for want of a better word, still exists. And this can sometimes make it harder to gain credibility and respect as an author, which is kind of lame, but it's true. Fourth, distribution. While it's easy to make your book available for sale online, getting it into physical bookstores can be a real challenge. Traditional publishers have established relationships with bookstores and distributors, which can be very hard to replicate as a self-published author. So self-publishing has both advantages and disadvantages. While it gives you control, speed, and flexibility, it also requires you to take on all the responsibilities of publishing, including quality control, marketing, and distribution. Whether self-publishing is right for you depends on your personal goals and your resources, but it can be a great option for those willing to put in the work to make their book a success. So that's self-publishing. What about traditional publishing? Again, pros first, and they're kind of the reverse of the self-publishing cons, and we'll start with quality control. Traditional publishers have access to professional proofreaders, editors, designers, and marketers who can all help improve the quality of your work. And let's face it, they've all got a reputation to uphold, so it's in their best interest to produce high quality products. Second, marketing and distribution. Traditional publishers have established relationships with booksellers, distributors, and other industry professionals who can help get your book into physical bookstores and in front of potential readers. They also have dedicated marketing departments that can help promote your book through advertising, reviews, and a host of other means. Next is credibility. Being published by a traditional publisher can help lend credibility to your work. Many people still view traditional publishing as a sort of stamp of approval that indicates your work has been vetted and is worthy of publication. Next, advance payment. With traditional publishing, you might receive an advance payment from the publisher to cover your writing and research expenses. This can be super helpful for writers who need financial support while they're working on their book or on their next book. But just like self-publishing, there are a few major cons to traditional publishing as well. Number 1, loss of control. With traditional publishing, you probably will have less control over the content, design, and marketing strategy for your book. Publishers have the final say on these kind of things, and they may make changes that you're not entirely happy with. Next, traditional publishing can be time consuming. While self-publishing can be quick and often easy, traditional publishing can take a very long time to come together. It can take months or even years to find an agent and then find a publisher, and then several more months to go through the editing and printing process. So you could be waiting quite a while to have your physical book in your hands. Another con is profit sharing. Traditional publishers typically take a large percentage of the profits from your book sales, leaving you, the author, with a smaller share of the revenue. Next, limited access. Traditional publishers are often very selective about the books that they choose to publish, which can make it quite challenging for new or unknown authors to get their foot in the door. And this can make it super difficult for writers to get their work out there into the world. Again, traditional publishing has its own advantages and disadvantages. While it can offer professional editing, marketing, and distribution services, it can also require authors to relinquish quite a lot of control over their work and then go on to share profits with the publisher. It's important to weigh the pros and cons of each publishing pathway and carefully consider your options before choosing which route to take. And bear in mind, just because you've chosen one route at some stage in your life, it doesn't mean that you can't eventually switch to the other one. So if you start off as a self-publishing author, it doesn't mean you can't further down the line become a traditional published author. Once again, if you're about to start querying or you've already started, please jump down to the show notes below and grab my query letter. And don't forget to check out WIPpitch if you're looking for a great place to connect with other writers. It's all down there in the show notes below. Thanks for being here, warmest regards, and see you soon. Bye.